Hi, this is Stephenie Meyer, and I'm really excited to tell you about my upcoming novel, Eclipse. I never planned to write a book. I wasn't planning on a career in writing. I wasn't thinking about stories that I wanted to write down. I had a dream, and it was this really crazy, wonderful dream about a vampire and a human girl. And when I woke up from it, I didn't want to forget it. But I have 3 kids, which means short-term memory loss. And so I knew if I didn't write it down, I was going to forget about it. So for the first time in years, I sat down at the computer and just started typing, just almost like a memo to myself. Remember this great dream you had. And then as I got started, I really enjoyed the process. It was so exciting to be able to take these things that were in my head and put them down in a concrete form, something that would last. I could go back and look at it again, and it was the same. I hadn't realized how much I would enjoy writing. I knew I loved to read, but writing was just that little bit better. So then after I got started, I couldn't quit. I wanted to know what was going to happen to the characters next, what they were going to say now that that scene was over, and then what was going to happen to them that would make things exciting, and I just had to keep going. Then when I finished it, I was shocked that I had finished a whole book-length story, and it was done, and everything was complete, which shocked me. And so I, at that point, started thinking about publishing, but that was really the first time that I thought of it. Once I decided to look into publishing, it was really intimidating. I wasn't expecting all the hoops you have to jump through. I'd never heard of a literary agent before, and I didn't know how to write a query. So I came very close to quitting just because I didn't know what to do. But my big sister was kicking me to saying I had to do it. She was the only one who'd read anything of Twilight. And I felt like I kind of owed it to my characters. They were so great. I wanted other people to know about them. So I figured out on the internet how to write a query, how to send those out. I think I sent out 15. I got 10 rejections, and I got 1 letter that said, hey, we want to see the rest. And that was very exciting because it was the agency, not just one of the lists, but it was the very top of the list. So that was a really exciting moment to think that they wanted to see more. Then when they signed me, that was another really exciting day to think that my book really was going to end up in bookstores, that it was really going to happen. And then it was very quick after that. We spent 2 weeks, my agent and I, kicking it back and forth, fixing the title, because it wasn't originally called Twilight, it was called Forks, so nobody liked that but me. And then my editor read it on a plane flight and got home and said, we want your book, we want 3 of them. And it was amazing. I thought that I would have to pay people to read my books. And here they were going to pay me to do something that I would do for fun anyway. And so that was just unbelievable. For a long time, I felt like this was some kind of practical joke. I just couldn't believe that people really were going to put my book out there. And that they were so excited about it. And then since the book has been out in the bookstores, the response has been amazing. Everyone I've talked to that's comes up and says, oh, I just loved your book. This really meant a lot to me. It's still a surprise because for me this book was so personal, and to think that it could speak to other people, it amazes me. I've been really, really surprised about the conflict between the Edward and the Jacob fans. It's not a fair conflict since the Jacob fans are outnumbered about 100 to 1. But I didn't realize that there was going to be such strong feeling, and I'm surprised that so many people think that they have to love one or the other, because for me it's quite easy to love both. They're both really great characters, and it'll be interesting to see how, as the story resolves, people respond to how their characters change. Out of the 3 novels, Eclipse was definitely the most fun to write. I'm so excited to have it out so I can talk about it more. Right now I'm trying to protect it, keep it spoiler-free, but I've really enjoyed writing this one. For me, it was funnier because I already knew all the characters so well. I got to explore their characters more in depth. I got to have them interact in ways that were really exciting for me. Because the book covers such a short period of time, but so much happens, it made it a very exciting experience to write everything out, and I can't wait to see how the fans respond to it. It's amazing how into the story they get, how excited they are about the characters. I go to events and they show up with homemade t-shirts that have the cutest slogans, some of them that I want to copy. They write fan fiction. Last time I checked, there were thousands of pages of fan fiction that people have written about these characters because they matter to them as much as they matter to me. It's always exciting to see their questions. They're so thought out. They know all the details about the story. And now when I'm writing, I have to be careful because I know if I make any mistakes, there are a lot of people who are going to catch them.